What's up, everybody? Good morning from Quincy. Just leaving the coffee house. I need to actually get a little walk in this morning to get the ball rolling, if you know what I mean. It's about 10 o'clock. It's still super foggy. These mornings have been, it's like the tale of 2 days. We got the mornings that are socked in with fog, super cold, low 30s. Not quite freezing, but maybe a little frost on the windshield. But the fog just makes it feel so much colder and more ominous and impressive. So, but here at 10 o'clock in the morning, the sun's peeking through, and we will have a full bluebird day by noon. It's just an interesting contrast throughout the day. Got my $3 coffee. Thank you to, I still don't know her name. I should ask her her name. The owner. She's super sweet. Yeah. Got my punch card is almost full for another free one. So routine and ritual and making the rounds and being available are important aspects of being a pillar of the community and being involved in the community. I get a lot of feedback about my lack of work ethic and my life choices, etc., from many, many angles and many directions. I'm gonna let the gas can out here. I don't know what that's all about. Must be somebody's. See things like that. If I see that throughout the day, and obviously no one has grabbed it, or no one is using it, I will avail myself of that resource. That's just the way things work. So I'm taking a walk in these beautiful fall colors. Beautiful morning. It will be sunny soon. It's warming up. I'm still wearing gloves, but I don't really need to. Museum is open. That's cool. I guess I can straight up reveal where I was staying, since that's been blown up by Chandler. Nah, it's all right. I'll keep it to myself. Only he and I will know. We got a Wednesday morning. Oh, I got to get to the food bank. They're open at 10. They're open now. So let me finish this coffee. I'll walk that direction. Had a good night's rest. It was very, very cold in the RV in the trailer this morning. I would suspect it was in the upper 30s inside. Just judging by the ooh factor when you poke your head out of the sleeping bag. Ooh, that's cold. Dove said in her little apartment it was 46 degrees, which is still very, very cold for indoors, but somewhat tolerable, somewhat manageable. When you get below 50, I found when you're indoors and it's below 50 degrees, it really gets into your spirit. It's discouraging because you don't have a warm place to habitate, So if I can add just the ability to cook in that little trailer, that would be a huge mental boost and also save me a lot of money. I wouldn't have to come to town for a $3 coffee or a $9 sandwich, whatever it is I have to buy. I can make it all on the stove. And I have all the cookware and such. So progress. We're working on progress, incremental progress. I asked Dove this morning what her plans were, big day plan, and she went through a litany of her goals for the day. And I was like, oh, that's a full day. All right, good luck. I'm still looking for help to go retrieve my gear. We do have she's willing to help me in that regard if I can. And here's a praise report and also a prayer request at the same time. If I could pay her storage for the month, which she's having trouble covering all the expenses, she would let me have that storage, and would help me bring the remnants of Camp Getaway to the storage, and I'd have lock and key and access to that. So that would be awesome. If I had a storage unit, then I guess to start gathering mostly bicycles and bicycle gear to build up. And the dream would be that come spring I can open a shop sometime in May, probably middle of May, maybe my birthday would be the grand opening, May 31st, and just have a bike shop here. That would be awesome. I can feel the walk and the coffee is starting to have an effect. So don't want to stray too far from a place where I can handle my business. So, and not having that available in the trailer is a major obstacle to the comfort of living. So, things that most people take for granted. Indoor plumbing, heat, ability to cook, power. These are all really nice conveniences. I'm glad you all have them. I'm glad we built a culture there. These things are available to most, but you need to go without for a little bit to truly appreciate, the true cost of living. What is the cost of living? Well, the cost of living involves the effects you have on the environment and the effects you have, the things you take for granted. Like there's this movement towards, they call them everything showers, where these like influencers on Instagram are taking like hour-long showers. Do you understand the physics of that situation? Do you understand how much energy is involved in heating water? Gallons and gallons and gallons of water. Hundreds of gallons. I mean, it's one thing to heat 2 gallons and do a nice little ladle bath or sponge bath or shower, steam bath in the shower. It's another thing to go burn through 200, 300 gallons of hot water so you can do your whole beauty routine in the shower. That's ridiculous. These things have a cost to the planet that requires, oil, coal, power, all of that. And when you consider the power is now in California about 40 cents a kilowatt hour, you're looking at a shower costing $30, $40. And, when you're in a mindset where that doesn't affect you, you've lost touch with the real world. So myself, I'm a little bit out of touch. I know that. But my life costs about $30 a day, everything, every aspect, $30 to $40 a day. And I'm living well. I'm out and about. I'm having fancy coffee. I go dance at the shows. I buy a pint at the tap room. I'm not destitute. I'm poor, but not destitute. So, what was the topic I want to dig in today? Well, we were talking. I briefly mentioned you got into it last night about the shutdown of SNAP benefits. 42 million Americans are about to have a pretty lean time, especially, and going right into Thanksgiving. That's particularly cruel, in my opinion. Should we rely on the government to feed us? Well, what's the point of having a government if it doesn't help us out a little bit? We paid for that. That's us. That's not government. That's our money. That's ours. That's our food. In the 60 years of this program, it's never been shut down. All the shutdowns we've had, this is just, we're pawns in their game. It's a political power play. And Trump is trying to position himself as supreme ruler. I mean, if you can't see that, well, we have a different point of view, you and I. We have a different point of view. We have a different understanding of things. And once again, let me remind you all, I am a Republican. I believe this is a constitutional republic, and we elect officials to lead us and to be with minimal interference in our lives, minimal government overreach, minimal, we don't want to feed the beast of government, but government exists for a reason. Provide safety, provide the roads, provide fire protection, provide libraries, provide schools for our children, and to help us stay alive. We've got 12% of the country relying on food stamp benefits to help them get through the month. And in Idaho, for me, it was huge. At $291 a month, I mean, I saved it up. I was very frugal, and I ended up with I had like $1,200 on there at one point, which I will freely confess, and this might be admitting to a federal crime, but there were times that I traded those benefits for rent money. I had to. In lieu of donating plasma, I can only give so much of my blood, my plasma, to the BioLife in Coeur d'Alene. 21 visits in 3 months to get through the winter. So those benefits accrued, and I used them how I saw fit. So all these systems, all these programs, all these government agencies, all this debate about whether or not we should rely on the government to feed us. Well, the government exists. The government taxes us. The government funds wars I don't agree with. The government funds Israel, which I don't agree with. And that's another topic. A whole different, I haven't even breached that subject yet on my channel. What Israel is doing and how out of line they are. I would just point you towards Chris Hedges, on that regard. Chris Hedges is a great investigative reporter. I greatly value his point of view. And his dismantling of this nation state of Israel and exposing their crimes against humanity and against Gaza and against Lebanon, where my family is from Beirut. I would love to visit Beirut one day. I'm still a political prisoner of the United States, financial prisoner of the United States, excuse me. Until I pay a child support debt that is 90% interest down to zero, I can't get a passport to leave this country. So, that's just what's going on. I would suspect that in time, this channel will blow up enough to where I'll just be making $10,000 a month and just here's a check. Just go away. And that's what money does. It just gives you the right to just tell people, okay, you can go away now. You can just, adios. Bring, as Warren Zevon says, bring lawyers, guns, and money, lawyers, guns, and money. And I have none of the above. I've got $88 on my PayPal. That's now available, but then I go to Safeway to get some cash, and the internet is down, and they can't recognize my card or allow me to get some cash back. Such is life. No complaints. Still have $3 cash, and I got my coffee. So it's all about these little steps, progress in real ways, in going the right direction. Doesn't matter how fast you're going, as long as you're going the right direction. So I'm going the right direction. I'm doing well. Nice and warm. We've got sun. It's just peeking through. We're 12 minutes into this little morning vlog, and I'm doing my best. I'm treating this like a job in the sense that every morning and every evening I will post an update. And I will, if I find something interesting or think of something worthwhile to point out, survival tip, bike life, how I get dressed in the morning, all these things, the way I'm kitted up for adventure, ready for anything at all times. In fact, my backpack and my outfit are perfectly matched. I didn't plan that out. I just, my father dresses me funny. True story. On that note, I'm going to walk over to the crisis center, see if they have any snacks for me, maybe some batteries. I asked if they had batteries yesterday. They didn't have any, but they've always been keeping me supplied on AA and AAA batteries, so I can power my flashlights and keep my world functioning. I could just go buy them, but I will avail myself of the resources. Again, talking about how much should we rely on the government. I'm in need. They have the means to provide that need. I'm going to make that available to myself. It's not a crime, nor am I overstepping my bounds as an American citizen. A citizen of the most wealthy nation that's ever existed on this planet, by the way, in case you forgot. So these certain rights, these certain inalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. What makes me happy? Well, okay, let me just lay that out on the line there. What makes me happy? Riding a bicycle very fast and running up mountains and down mountains. That makes me happy. In order to do that, I have to stay fed, I have to stay safe, I have to stay alive, I have to stay warm, I have to stay sheltered, I have to stay clean, I have to keep my gear in operating condition. I have to be able to kit myself out in the right equipment for such endeavors. And I can't really take on a 40-hour-a-week job. I mean, I'll work, but I'm not working 40 hours for one thing. That's not happening. That's just not happening. Make your judgments. If that statement right there turned you off to me, we got nothing in common. And, adios. I don't care about you. You got your opinions. Everyone's got their opinions. They're like assholes. Everyone's got one. And most of them are full of shit. So that's life. I just, little blurbs, little vlogs, little tidbits of snippets of my life. I'm not going to dig into the subject right now of what happened between me and my son yesterday, because that's heavy and I don't need to be exposing. I put a Facebook post out there about how they've all made their choices as adults, and so to reject their father. And I find that disgusting. That's just my opinion. Everyone's entitled to my opinion, right? On that note, God bless America, y'all. Over and out. Oh, come on. Got the gloves on. So over and out.